What's good, everybody? RJ Sean here, back with another episode of Off the Top Show, Spartan Dogs edition. As you see on the screen here, got my good brother, Tony Lippett, a.k.a. Lip. What's happening, man?
Yeah, thought I left my water. No, we got it, though. You found me. What's happening?
Always got to have the water on deck. Let's go ahead and hop right into it here. We talk about, obviously, the Michigan sports. Talk about the Detroit Lions, talk about Detroit Tigers, talk about Detroit Pistons. Then we go ahead and talk about our Michigan State football team. And then we have a segment where we call Speak On It, where we go ahead and talk about different things outside of Michigan. So let's hop right into it briefly here. Obviously, we all know that the Lions are kind of just OTAs, starting to gradually get everyone back. Coaches in, players in, starting to get in that routine of getting plays in, getting new faces in. They did went ahead and sign Zach Cunningham, who's a veteran. He was with the Broncos, I think, previous of last year, and was, I think, also maybe with the Houston Texans. But just to go ahead and give you information on that, he is in the building. It's always good to add veteran guys in to go ahead and help young guys, but also a guy that knows the game, all that good stuff. Tigers, they went ahead and took game one of the 3-game series against a good San Francisco Giants team. Tell you, man, they're always at home. They're tough at home. They won 1-3, and then they go ahead and play today, and then they play tomorrow. Then they go ahead and head to Kansas City to face the Royals. Standings for them, they are still top of their division of the ALC. They're 35-20. God damn, bro. Can't even get my Brewers to get 500, man. It's ridiculous. But you sitting over here looking good. Oh man, but they do play today and tomorrow. Let's go ahead and hop into this, man, with the Michigan State football team. Al Hallett obviously had stepped down. Another year under what is John? I forget his name all the time. That's
John Smith.
John Smith, another year underneath him. It's a big year. I mean, out of all the years that he's possibly going to go ahead and be with us, this is probably the biggest one. If you look at it schedule-wise here, the first 3 games, they go ahead and face Western Michigan, Boston College, and Youngstown State. And then getting into the Big Ten season, they faced USC at USC, Nebraska at Nebraska. Then they have UCLA at home. Then they have Indiana away. They have Michigan at home. And then they are at Minnesota. Then they have Penn State at home. And then they have Iowa away. And then they go ahead and finish with Maryland at home. Just as I read that off, what are you thinking just off rip of what you think this season possibly could be for the Michigan State Spartan football team?
I'm excited to see what this year looks like. Obviously, we got a new coach last year and brought in new players, new scheme, new rotations, new system. So the first year is always going to be a little up and down. You're trying to implement your system in there. You're trying to keep guys focused on the mission and the culture that you're trying to build over there with John Smith and his coaching staff. So year 1 is gone. Now it's year 2. They always say your biggest jump in sports is usually from year 1 to year 2. Period. I think that's with coaching. I think that's with players for sure, because you kind of know how it's going to be now. You know the set, you know the schedule, you know how road games are going to be played, you know what you need to do, you know you need to travel to hotels. So it's a lot of things that was completely new to you at a new school, but now it's like, okay, we know what it's like playing in Iowa now. You know, we know what it's like playing at Ohio State or just against Ohio State. We know what it's like to play in these type of games as a staff. So I'm excited to see the jump that they take. I think the schedule was pretty cool. I think 10 wins will be a great season. 10-2, I think 10 wins will be a great season for us. I think 8 wins is in the middle of a great season and, a not so great season. But 8 wins will be a good season for us this year, because that'll show growth. That'll show, you win 8 games, that's tough to win. Especially in the Big Ten. Like, I don't care who you playing. You go into Indiana with the wrong mindset and they're going to blow you out of there. You go into Purdue with the wrong mindset, you can get blown up out of there. You never know what Maryland team is going to show up from week to week. So it's these teams that you can lose to ASAP if you're not, focused and structured and organized and ready to go. So I'm excited to see what we got this year, man. Obviously, I'm excited about the players, excited about the growth of the program, and just excited to see what's going on this year. It's a new New team, obviously, have a bunch of players back from last year, but with the portal guys in and out, this way, that way, you never know. But you still got a job to do. You still got an objective to do. You still got a goal, and I'm excited to see what that goal look like. Are they going to be able to execute it? And let's get back to a bowl game, and let's get back to competing at a high level and showing up on the big stage. So that's what I'm turned in for.
No, right with you. I'm definitely wanting to see the growth. I mean, last year, obviously 5-7. It's always going to be one of those times where, are we going to turn that leaf? I used to have I didn't like that everything was in-house, but at the same time, I do like that. One of two things is that they're in there grinding and working. They're actually trying to find out who they are. And that's everybody included, the head coach, the coaches, the players. So I kind of like that aspect of just, keeping everything in, doing what you need to do, getting those guys' minds ready because they know the standard. They walk in that building every day and seen what players before them have done. They've seen the Rose Bowls. They've seen the Cotton Bowl trophies. They've seen all Big Ten players. They've seen coaches that have went ahead and done tremendous things there. So it's all around them. And I think it's good that they're keeping that in and we're not really hearing anything, which is good, I think. I used to be one like, well, why aren't we doing a bowl game? Things like that. Maybe you got to go ahead and come back to where you got to be centered with the guys that you got to see if they're actually ready to go to war with you when it's time to go. So I'm excited for this season. I think we're definitely going to go ahead. I think we're going to get into a bowl game for sure. I'm right with you on the kind of the numbers that you gave when it says great season, good season. I mean, shit, if we just go over 500 or we're at 500, but we had games that we had potentially were able to beat quality opponent teams, I'm not mad at all. The big thing for me is just compete, man. That's the number one thing. You can't control effort when you're out there. You can't control being locked in, knowing your assignment, knowing what you got to do, because that's on you at the end of the day. But I'm excited, man. We're almost here. I know it's about like 70-something days, maybe 80-something days. We got to figure out what game we're going to go to. We've been bullshitting. I've been bullshitting. I ain't going to lie. You've been over there. I'm the one that's been bullshitting. We will definitely be locked into that. Short and sweet for obviously the Michigan sports. Let's hop on into the Speak on It segment.
The who? Oh, I don't want to forget about not talking about one thing.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna keep it in your mind. We gotta talk about Caitlin Clark. I think she just got hurt. She's gonna be out for a couple weeks, but we gotta talk about the beginning of that, and we gotta talk about the All NBA teams.
Yes, we will definitely. We will go ahead and talk about the playoffs, obviously, right now, and then we'll go ahead and get right into that because that is definitely a good point that you brought up because it's a little dicey with the All NBA teams. But as of last night, we all saw the Timberwolves went ahead and faced OKC. They went ahead and lost that one 128-126. Prior Saturday, this past weekend, they went ahead and blew them out the water 143-101. But the OKC got them back. SGA had 40. 9 and 10. I mean, MVP stats per usual. Anthony Edwards was struggling. I hate when I see guys struggling that need to kind of go ahead and get past that hump, but we all have slumps. He had 16, 4, and 6. I mean, they're role players. Alexander Walker was hitting huge buckets. DiVincenzo was hitting huge buckets, and they were still in the game. Like I mentioned earlier before we even started, I mean, you can't have 25 turnovers in a game.
Yeah.
Like, that's outrageous. Like, you shouldn't even be in the game if you have 25 turnovers. Talk to me a little bit about this game and where you're seeing this going because, boy, I tell you one thing. We overlook SGA too much. I'm going to be honest with you when I say that. We look over his game way too much. And for me, I was one of those people, like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, he ain't nothing, Yeah, I'm sorry, SGA. If this ever comes past anyone or anything that you may see with, maybe we go global. You never know. I apologize, brother. Your game is serious, and you can hoop. Talk to me about it.
But that's what the playoffs are made for, bro. It's made for them players that you think about in the regular season that's really good, pretty good in the regular season, but then you're just not quite sure what they're gonna do in the playoffs. This is what he's showing. He's showing that he a performer for real, and he young. SGA is a young cat. I think the average age on their team was 24. 24, bro. So it's like, yeah, he 26. So this is what this stage was made for. Like, I remember last series when I think they lost game 3. and he was walking off the court like smiling. You remember that little meme with SGA walking off the court smiling? Like, yeah, we're gonna come back for game 4. End up coming back and winning game 4. But he walked off smiling, and we was all like, man, well, I know I was. I was like, man, all right, we're gonna have to come back and prove that, because you can't be just smiling trying to make it, create the narrative that this is the type of player you is without bringing those actions. So to walk off on the court, third game, it was 2-1. Denver was up 2-1. And they walked off the court, lost, and he was smiling. And he came back out there and won game 4. Did what they supposed to do. Ended up winning the series. So he's showing that hey, I might be young and I might be all of these things, and our team might be young, but we ready. And like I said, that's usually showcased in the playoffs, because every game is on TV. Every game is pivotal. I don't care if it's one game, 2 game, 3. There's always a story to be told about each and every game. That's what the internet is nowadays. That's what TV is nowadays. Every game, the odds swing, the odds of game to game swing, the series swing, all of that shit swing within every game. So it's like he's showing that he can roll with the punches. You feel me? I don't think they lost 2 games in a row this entire playoffs. Last night was just them showing you that they the best team in the league. It don't matter where they play at, bro. They the best team, bro. Like, they defense. Like, I know a lot of people were saying this whole season that they defense, they one of the best defenses. I've heard people say this team remind them of the 98 Bulls. I've heard people compare this team. I've heard people say Shea and Jalen is very equivalent to Michael and Scottie Pippen. And this is what the playoffs is for, so we can see that. And this Jalen Williams dude been playing pretty damn good, bro. Like, defense, and especially him making an all-NBA defense. Like, I didn't know he was that type of defender, but he is. So, man, SGA, just all respect, bro. All respect. He seemed like he's a player that's really locked in and really focused, and he feel like he's going to be that way his entire career. So if he is that way his entire career, all NBAs, teetering on MVPs, I don't see this team breaking up. I see this team getting better, honestly. Like, I see them getting better with the guys that's already on the team. Like, they can get better. Let's just say the nucleus of this team is there for the next 5-6 years. And they win this year and then I think they're going to win another one. So, man, they went in there and did what they supposed to do. They showed up. They was the best team. He was the better player, 49-10. Like, at the free throw line probably 4 or 5 times in the fourth quarter because they were doing a little foul thing. So he wasn't at the free throw line a whole lot. He was getting buckets. So major respect to SGA. And if he, like I said, if he continue to do this for the next 8 to 10 years, being in this ballpark of play or even exceeding that, SGA will be one of the greatest guards in NBA history, if not the greatest. I'm telling you right now. And I know that's crazy to say, but it really ain't, though. If you really look at his game and look at his focus and look at his attention to detail and his playmaking ability and his hunger and all of that, his want to, he got all of that. So I'm excited to see, him keep adding and keep doing, keep letting the world know what type of player you gonna be and what you want to be, because everybody locked in now. So major respect to the MVP, man, for real.
No, absolutely. He's balling right now. They go ahead and head to OKC. And that one is obviously tomorrow.
What you think about Minnesota? Because you had Minnesota, didn't you?
I did.
You had Minnesota win. And I remember before the series, I'm like, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if they get swept. Are you seeing the 6th seed that I was saying? Are you seeing that in their game play from game to game now in this round? Can you see the difference between the two teams? And if you do, what are the differences that you see?
It's always sick when you're damn near right about 99.9% of the time when it comes to teams and knowing the season, knowing what type of team this Timberwolves team is. They're so inconsistent. Like, it starts with your main guy. Like, Anthony Edwards can't have 4 points within 3 quarters. Like, you can't rely. I understand you can rely on, obviously, DiVincenzo, Alexander Walker. Who else am I forgetting there that they got going on? Julius Randle. Like, guys like that. I understand that you have the support cast, right? But you can't lean on that. Daniels, like, and I would say he's leaning on that. Like, he didn't touch the ball. He didn't touch the ball all of, like, when he was not hitting shots, not making nothing. Like, if you're a guy that wants to still implement your presence on the court, it don't matter what's going on. Like, you gonna figure a way. You gonna go to the rim, things like that. But he's just been selling, taking threes, and that's where I think he's still. We've said on here before, he's still evolving. Like, he still needs, I would say, even a mentor, because he's the one that has to be the mentor to the guys that are already on the team, because that's where his position is at. Like, he's the guy that has to go ahead and have the answers, and he's learning on the way, just as any guy that would be in this position would be, because he hasn't had someone that go ahead and be like, hey, like, no, like, swing it, go downhill. Like, you're going to get a call. Like, you're at that stature where you will go ahead and get calls if you're not, getting your shot going. So I think we're still seeing Anthony Edwards evolve, even though he only lost by 3. You're supporting cast help, but you can't be the guy that's not at the top every single time, just like SGA. Like, SGA had a horrible game. He got blown out, came out here, dropped 40, but got to his spots. Like, I never seen Anthony Edwards really have spots besides getting a pick and roll and either shooting the 3 or passing it off. And I think he does. If he would literally go ahead and just go downhill, like, get yourself going. I'm not no basketball expert, but I know that he has a pretty good, crazy bounce when he decides that he wants to go to the rim, and when he decides that he wants to go ahead and lay it up. So hopefully he goes and takes that in the next game, because it's going to be tough to go down to OKC. But no, to go ahead and put your question in a nutshell, it's you can definitely see that it's the inconsistency. And that's been the problem with the Timberwolves the previous year. But we have seen them turn it on and force game 7s and win game 7. Like, so I can't go ahead and sit here and not go back and forth with that. But this was just a game where your superstar has to be available. I don't go ahead and talk about the refs or the flopping or this or that. Like, your superstar has to be present. And if he's not present, you have a very slim chance of winning that game. And that's what we saw last night. But yeah, just you can't be inconsistent. Like, he can't drop. What did he drop last night when they blew him out by 40? They were up 50. Like, you dropped 39 and 6 last night, or the last time he played. And then you come out and drop 16, 6 and 4. Like, you can't be having that. You can't do that. And we harp on that every time on this show. Like, you can't have games like that, especially the type of player that you are for the team. So we shall see, man. It's going to be a tough one. But, yeah, inconsistency. Like you said that weeks before, and it's showing. And it's not just the team. It's superstars. It's individual players. It's like, how are they going to respond? Like, he's going to have a huge game down in OKC. But
that's the difference between the maturity of SGA, that's 26, and Ant, that's 22 or 23. I'm not saying he's immature, but there's a part of, in that 3-year gap from 23 to 26, you learn a lot of basketball in those times. You know what I'm saying? Like, you lose, you see how you learn how teams are going to defend you. I don't think that Anthony Edwards realizes how teams are going to defend him all the time. Like, I don't think he's in that bag yet. Like, he's dissecting how teams guarded LeBron back in the day, and how teams guarded Steve Nash back in the day, and how teams guarded Tracy McGrady, because they're going to shoot the same type of things at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they going to box and one you. They going to hedge on the pick and roll. They're going to double team you off the pick and roll. Knowing the angles on where you need to be at. Like, you got to take your game to that level, because physically he's more dominant than everybody. And you can tell he's using that more than anything. But he got to get this together. And that's what's going to happen from 23 to like 27, 28. In that time to where shit, his fucking brain developed fully. so that's gonna help his game for
It's
sure. But
true.
you can just tell SGA. You can just tell this is his moment, bro. I kind of see it being his moment, man. Everybody else playing and it's cool, but I think this is his moment, and I'm excited. I kind of like it a little bit. A guard being one of the most dominant players in the NBA, I kind of like that.
Well, I'm right with you. We shall see. Let's move on over, obviously, to the Eastern Conference Finals here. The Knicks steal Game 3 against the Pacers. That was a great game. I mean, God, I tweeted it. Karl-Anthony Towns, 20 points and 8 rebounds just in the fourth quarter. You want to talk about a guy coming out and showing his presence and doing what he needed to do to kind of quiet the crowd of if he can play or not. That was a huge quarter by him to go ahead and get that game for the Knicks. I mean, if you look at the Indiana Pacers, they shot 20% from the three, and they were at home. They were 5 of 25. 5 of 25 at home from the three-point line. I mean, could we have got that when he played the Bucks? I mean, every time you played the Bucks, you got shot over 80%. But to shoot 20% from three, still being in the game, is crazy to me. That's 20%, especially from this Pacers team that hits threes, especially at home, was kind of shocking. But back to the Knicks, though. Huge win. Huge win for the Knicks. I had tweeted, I'm like, they might not get Game 3, and they might go ahead and win 4 straight. That's what I have to go ahead and get them in the finals. But to go ahead and take this game, like I said, Karl-Anthony Towns basically was the vocal point of this team that night. And then Brunson was in foul trouble. I don't know why Tibbs had Brunson sitting for so long in the fourth quarter. I'm like, bro, is he going to put him in a game? It was like 6 minutes or 9 minutes. No, it wasn't 9. It was 6 minutes. And it was like crucial time. And it 2 minutes went off. And I think the game was maybe knotted up. I'm like, why is he not in the game? But you will not get another performance where he's going to go ahead and be in foul trouble. There's no way that's going to happen. There's no way that's going to happen. And once I saw that, I'm like, ooh. Because Brunson's not going to go ahead and do that. He's going to have a 30 ball. That is one guy in the NBA that is going to go ahead and show up and ball out consistently. It's crazy to see what he does when he gets to the game. He hits every shot, basically. It's insane. But I'm liking where the Knicks are at right now. I'm liking what they're doing. This was a huge win, not only to go ahead and give them a little bit of room to all right, hey, we still in this. Even though they know that, but you got to get that one win underneath you. All right, we're here. Even if they go ahead in this Game 4, they lose today, they know they can go back to the Garden and get it right. But I think they're going to go ahead and possibly steal Game 4. And if they steal Game 4 and it goes back to the Garden, man, New York might be on fire. I ain't going to lie. It might be on fire. Talk to me about this series, because this is another great one, too.
Oh, man, 2 scrappy teams. Like I said, I think this series going to 7. I don't see this series going to 6. I see it going to 7. I don't care what happened tonight. I feel like it's going to go to 7. Like you said, a hell of a performance by Cat in the fourth quarter. Especially with, like you said, Brunson. Brunson only played 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. And Cat played 11, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3 for 4 from 3, 5 for 6 from the free throw line, 6 for 9 from the field with a plus 14. To do that in the conference finals, Cat has played really well this playoff series, this entire playoffs. He been showing up and making big plays and scoring at big times and just being a big player. He been real top 3 center type playing right now for real. How he been fucking dominating and scoring and just helping his team, because they didn't have that last year. They didn't have a guy that can stretch the center position out like that. That opened up lanes for OG Anunoby for him to pump fake and drive to the rack. That opened up the floor for Jalen Brunson, because usually last year he had a Chulia or Robinson in the paint, clogging up the paint the whole time because they wasn't really shooters. But now it's open, so he can go to the left, he can go to the right, he can do whatever he wants to, pick and pop, pick and roll. Cat has took this team over the hump. I would definitely say that. It's funny because the Pacers had this game in the fourth quarter. If I'm not mistaken, this game looked like it was damn near won from the Pacers. The whole first half, for a whole first half, a little bit. It was up by 20 points. What was the biggest lead in the fourth quarter? Okay, it kind of got close to that. But going into the fourth quarter, they was up by 7. That's a decent amount of shot here, shot there. You can miss a couple shots, get a couple rebounds, and try to even the score. But this fast paced, high paced street fight from Indiana and the Knicks, man, I'm loving what I'm seeing. Good coaching. You can tell it's good coaching. Is different shit is happening every game. They're not just coming the same way, not attacking you the same way. I see Tibbs and play some other guy. I seen a guy I ain't seen play all year. I seen him getting minutes the other night. What was it? Right. I ain't seen him all year on a Knicks uniform. He was out there in the game playing for like 13 minutes. I didn't even know who he was. I'm like, bro, who is that? But he was out there getting minutes. And, shit, him and Shambit, they both played 11, 13 minutes, and they both was plus from the field. They're plus 12 and a plus 2. So that got to be something. You feel me? They are NBA players. They should be playing. But I'm loving what I'm seeing from this series, man. Like I said, I think it's gonna come down to Game 7. Game 4 will be a brawl tonight because New York needs to win this, but New York's still going back home. But New York have trouble at home, bro. They've lost like 5 games at home this year. They've lost plenty of games at home this year, so they might be a team better on the road this year, honestly. But having a closeout game in New York is still gonna be tough. You got to go in there and beat them on, but just Game 4, man. It's we're gonna see who got it and who don't got it tonight. I still like it going 7 either way, but it's gonna be a good game. And I see they let what's his name Pops in the game now. He can come back to the game. Halliburton Pops. He can come
Cups
back
are
in there.
off.
He can't be on the floor though. He want to jump on the floor and jump in people's face. Man, would have they would have you seen what happened? You seen what happened to the last security guard? See, he wasn't watching the Palace, man. He wasn't watching the Malice in the Palace, man. You better stay your ass off that court, boy. But he gonna be in the booth, man. That's good for him, man. There's gonna be a lot of energy in that arena tonight, but that's how you know they're gonna be out there fighting, boy. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to watch it for sure.
Yep. They're tonight, obviously Knicks Pacers, and then tomorrow you got OKC versus the Timberwolves. Let's get into this all NBA team selection. I'm gonna go ahead, obviously start from first team all the way to third. This year, obviously, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jokic, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, and SGA got first team. Second team was LeBron James, Steph Curry, Jalen Brunson, Evan Mobley, Anthony Edwards. And third team was James Harden, Karl Anthony Towns, Tyrese Halliburton, Cade Cunningham. Shout out to Cade for getting third team. That is incredible. I'll have my say on that after I go ahead and read the last one. And then we got Jalen Williams that went ahead and got the last spot for the third team. Talk to me a little bit about this, because why is Donovan Mitchell, and this is me, why is Donovan Mitchell first team?
That's the only question you have with first team?
I mean, I have more, but I'm just talking first team specifically.
I would say because obviously the Cavs was the first seed. He had some splash games this year. He played pretty well, but I think they was a good team. They had multiple All-Star type caliber players. Garland was All-Star before. If I'm not, was Evan Mobley All-Star this year? I think he was. I think he was an All-Star this year. Yeah, Evan Mobley. So that's another All-Star. So that's 3 guys on your team that's All-Star caliber players. And then they had good depth throughout the team. There's no 1 seed all year. Them and OKC was the best team this year. So they probably said we're going to grab one of them from each team. For sure. That's just how they look at it like that. So I'm not super mad at it. Obviously I would put LeBron there. I would put LeBron there on the first team, just being him coming, doing what he did in year 22, averaging 25, 8-8, leading his team to a 3 seed, even though they had a big midseason trade. that happened, and they end up getting a 3 seed out of that. And just him just having big games this year. LeBron still looking like LeBron, still doing what he want to do, just doing LeBron James shit all year. I mean, I like what he did more in year 22 than what I like what Donovan Mitchell did. But this leader of the new schools, new game. I get it. So I see why they did that. I see it. Who would you put right there instead of Donovan Mitchell if you wouldn't put LeBron James there? Who on the second team that you would move to his spot?
I mean, I would easily put Jalen Brunson in there.
Easily?
I'm looking
over Donovan Mitchell?
Yes, I know that he was a first seed, all that, but I'm going off of just stats, and I got stats right here, right in front of me. Jalen Brunson had 26 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, and I know he had multiple like 40 games in there probably. But if we're going off points, like Donovan Mitchell had 24, 4 and 5. I understand that he was on the first team, all that, but look, what did he do in the playoffs? Like, we're now at the point where, like, we need to start going ahead and putting all this together. Like, I know that we do regular season, but this didn't come out until what? Game 3 or 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals? So we're waiting this long? I just think if it's to where it's all NBA, that your numbers, we all run by numbers. The world runs on numbers. Because people are going to go ahead and look at the end of the day and be like, okay, so Donovan Mitchell, just like I am, he only had 24 points. But I go to the second team, Jalen Brunson had 26. Steph Curry had 24. LeBron had 25. Anthony Edwards had 27. Why are those guys second team and he's first team? And then I go ahead and go to the third team, and I see that Cade Cunningham had 26. I see that Karl-Anthony Towns had 24. So you're trying to tell me that Cade Cunningham, with those type of stats, 26, 6, and 9, is third team?
So you saying if the Cavs wasn't the 1 seed, he wouldn't even be peaking at first team All NBA?
Absolutely, not at all.
Okay.
But I'm just going off of numbers. We're going off of individual play. All NBA. Individual, what did you do in the regular season? Just you alone. That's how I thought maybe it would go. I know there's a whole bunch of factors, but at the end of the day is, what are you doing individually? Like, Evan Mobley, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Okay. But is he better than is he better than Cade Cunningham? Is he better than Karl-Anthony Towns? Is he better than Jalen Williams? Is he better than James Harden? We got to be realistic here. Like, we can't just, and we've said this, we just can't be throwing people in there to make them feel that, like, all right, these guys are the new guys going forward. They're not even in the playoffs. They're not even in the playoffs. And Mobley was nowhere to be found in the playoffs. He was getting carried by Donovan Mitchell. And we gave that man defensive, he could run a defensive player of the year, didn't he?
Yep.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Never.
What are we doing?
I ain't never hear nobody say they was worried about Evan Mobley on defense. Like, I ain't never heard they say we play the Cavs, but we got to worry about Mobley being. I ain't hear that, but and they got him as a top 10 player in the NBA. He's not. I don't even think he's top 20 player in the NBA.
Man,
The more you just made that, I would take everybody on this list over Evan Mobley. And that's nothing against Evan Mobley, but I just don't think he's not better than nobody on this third team, honestly. So yeah, that was but I mean, shout out to all of them. Shout out to all of them that made it.
Yeah.
And we back to the second team now. So okay, so you said you would take Jalen Brunson over Donovan Mitchell for the first team.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Like I said, I'll take either Brian or Brunson over Donovan Mitchell in that first team. So yeah, I'm with that. I think they got it. I think the other first team members they got it right. I knew they was locks. All of those guys were locks.
Yeah, there was no way they would change that. But I mean, you look at like the Cade Cunningham situation, bro. He could have got second team. Easy. And he would have got it if he I don't know. He would have because they played the Knicks. If he would have went ahead and beat the Knicks, he'd have got second team. They'd have bumped him up. They'd have been like, all right, hey, you beat the Knicks. Here you go. But I just don't like just anyone that doesn't know sports and they're looking at the stats. And you see that Evan Mobley has 18 and a half, and you go over to the third team and see that Cade Cunningham has 26 points, 6 and 9, and he is a point guard. Point guards have the ball majority of the time. They got to go ahead and structure and do, and he had a lot on his shoulders. Evan Mobley ain't really had to do nothing because he had great players around him. Cade Cunningham had to make shit happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, at this point, that's how we talk about it. But I just think it's wild that Mobley got second team. And then they put Donovan Mitchell at first. It's wild. They just want to go ahead and make, I guess, the Cleveland Cavaliers a bigger thing than Bron ever made it, but that will never happen. But that's crazy.
You feel like anybody was left off that should have been on out of any of these teams? Because we got the third team, Halliburton, Karl Anthony Towns, Cade, James Harden, and Jalen Williams. You think anybody got left off?
Trying to think. I mean,
you have. See, I had. You think Kevin Durant?
Have on there?
I had KD being the third team. At the end of the season, I did mine. I think I started to formulate mine toward the end of the season. I had Kevin Durant being on my third team, and I had no, I ain't gonna say that one. But I had KD being on the squad though, on the third team.
Yeah, I would have put KD in there. I would have put KD over Tyrese for sure. And I'm not saying that like because we got Tyrese Halliburton as hot right now.
But this regular season, I don't think I know Indiana. They was all right. I mean, it was cool. They was a cool little team. But like Tyrese Halliburton, he wasn't balling like all year, was he? Like he had the years he usually have. Like he one of the guys. Like I don't think he's a superstar. I think he's just a really good player that plays good in certain moments. But then he'll turn around and have a playoff game where he has 4 points. You feel me? Shit like that. I thought KD played better, but it's like one team not going to the playoffs and one team going to the playoffs. They're going to bump that player. So I get that. That's just what the NBA is now. No. But, yeah, I think the only player I would put on is Kevin Durant. I don't know who I'll take off, but I had to put on KD on one of those teams. Because he had a healthy year, man. For him to have a healthy year and not make none of the All NBA teams, we moving on up. We moving on up to the east side.
Man, like he averaged 20 and a half.
Devin Booker just can't. Boy, D Book, he gonna have to do something, boy. But yeah,
like he had 25. It's just wild to see that the NBA. And you always told me this. There's someone bigger than the program. Always is, always will be. There's always something that is added on to where you don't think you're going to get where you want to get. And it's a prime example of this list for me, especially on the third team. Like Tyrese Halliburton, out of those, first off, James Harden, absolutely. Karl Anthony Towns, absolutely. Cade Cunningham, absolutely. Jalen Williams, absolutely. Tyrese Halliburton. When you hear those three names, like if you would rate those, Tyrese Halliburton is going to be on the bottom of that list when you go ahead and rate them for just the third team. Like you're just not gonna.
Go ahead.
You're not gonna like if you're going to go see someone or going to like be like, all right, I'm gonna sit here and watch this specific player the whole game and know that he's gonna go ahead and go crazy. You got James Harden. This, for me, I do James Harden. Actually, rewind that. And I'm not biased when I say this because I've said this on the show multiple times. I'll watch Cade Cunningham, James Harden, Jalen Williams, Karl Anthony Towns, Tyrese Halliburton. And that's you made NBA that's good, but just for me, like I know your game. Your game is, you play basketball. You're a point guard. You hit shots when it needs to. You distribute the ball to other great players that you got around you. Obviously, yes, that's a game of basketball, but it's like we know that you just not gonna drop 40. Like you're not gonna be one of those players that we come and see that, oh yeah, he's gonna put on a show. That's just what I'm thinking.
A hot take. I also think Cade Cunningham had, I'm not gonna say a better year. I'm gonna say a more impressive year this year, like during the season, than Anthony Edwards had this year. Now the playoffs was a different story, and I'm sure they used that All NBA for playoffs too, because I don't think Tyrese Halliburton. I didn't even have him on my list at all. So I know the playoffs had to play into that for sure. Like you said, they literally just announced that shit like last Friday. I think I was 3 whole rounds that was played, so they definitely calculated all of that. So that's why he definitely made it. I didn't have him in mind, and like I said, I had Cade in my second team All NBA, and I had Ant in my third team. Cause yeah, that's how I was rocking. I just felt like the Pistons had a little slightly better year. Minnesota was up and down all year, and it was really down. And they was on the back end playing the whole year, so yeah. But that's my little 2 cents. Thought K had a better year than Ant during the regular season.
I mean, briefly, just looking here. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just scrolling here. Shout out to Real, because that is a great app. If you don't have it, get it. And that's not paid. I'm just saying. I mean, like 40, like I'm seeing 2 40-point games, over 30, triple doubles, double doubles, like I'm literally seeing there's a night where he went to LA, had a triple double, and then backed it up with another triple double against Charlotte. Like, that is crazy. Like that's serious. I don't know, man. Who are we? We're just guys talking, but I feel Cade at this point should have got second team. But he gonna go ahead as another guy, man. He gonna get that team right. I can't wait for his growth. I mean, what? SGA, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards. Who else? That's it, really, for me. I mean, I thought I was gonna be able to throw Buddy down south from Houston, Jalen Green, but he panned out to be the player that I already knew he was gonna be. Can't figure it out. Still learning. But those 3 guys that I mentioned, though, those guys definitely can go ahead and take this NBA by storm if they really want to, and I think SGA is about to go ahead and do that this year. Real shit. So, but with that, let's go ahead and go to the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is out. Everyone obviously has their own opinion on it. We're still debating on, God, we're not giving her flowers. She didn't do nothing. She's just someone that went ahead and just trying to go ahead and make the WNBA irrelevant. And the old heads aren't liking it, all this. She's going to be out for 2 weeks, I think. What are their record as of right now? I mean, the recent game they went ahead and lost to New York Liberty. I know they're only 4 games in, but what are you feeling about this? What is your perspective? Because I just feel like it's a lot of just the same talk of last year and people just hating. It is just crazy to see just like the amount, like that happened last year. Like, why are we still talking about last year's stuff and bringing it to now when someone is trying to just only help the game? And sorry that she's good at what she does. Talk to me about it, man, because this is damn near worse than politics at this point. But go ahead.
I already know. I mean, I've tuned into a couple games. Obviously, so far this season, I tuned into the first game they played against Chicago Sky. I tuned into a little bit of the game they played against New York. It was the Liberty they just played, and she ended up getting at the end of the game. And she thought it was a foul. No call. Good defense. Good. That was good defense right there. I ain't see too much. That was good
Yeah.
defense, man. You can't just throw your arms up. You gotta shoot to win. You feel me? You gotta shoot to get a foul. So I understand that. But just the whole chaos behind the whole Clark and Angel Reese and everything else, man. It's just bringing more notoriety to the game, bringing more hype to the game. It's competitive sports, man. And competitive sports, like no matter the gender or whatever, like you gonna get hype. You gonna get hype a little bit, and you might yell. You might hard foul. You might whatever. You might in certain type of way express yourself in the likings of people not really knowing that is you expressing yourself. But I like it, man. I think she cold. I think she gonna win MVP this year. I think their team got a little better. They got some veteran to come in there and help her with things. Obviously they 2-2, so that hasn't been too well. But 500, it's okay. Beginning of the season, new head coach, ironing different things out. But I think they're gonna hit their stride probably around like game 12, and then they're gonna go on a nice little win streak to where everybody's comfortable on. Everybody know they want the ball at. Everybody know who's the offense running through, who the defense running through. They all have 12 to 13, 14 games of playing with each other. And they're gonna be good, man. So I like what. Well, obviously they ain't because she's gonna be out for probably like say 2 weeks or a week, or whatever. So, but she'll be back. Angel Reese, man, she's a good player too. And I know they be going back and forth and having all this little debate on who they come and watch the game for and things like that. I seen a clip the other day, but I was like, oh my god. But but everybody's need to keep the main thing the main thing. The main thing is basketball. So if you ain't good at that, then you feel what I'm saying? Like, because that's the main thing right now. I mean, you can do the little broadcast and stuff. You can have your podcast. You can have your this. You can go to all of these different things and, be seeing at all these different places. But you got to keep the main thing the main thing. You feel me? You got to be able to make layups. Left-hand layups, right-hand layups. You got to be able to rebound. You got to be able to add to your game every year. You feel what I'm saying? Like, because that's what people are going to expect from you. You keep saying you're one of the best players. You got to be able to keep adding to your game every year. And that's just what it is. That's the expectation that the people have around you. And that should be the expectation that you have for yourself. No matter the athlete. So I just say, man, they doing their thing. They just gotta keep fighting, man. And keep getting better. Cause we tuned in. Nah, y'all wanted people to watch. Y'all wanted people to talk about y'all. Y'all wanted all this notoriety and all of this shit y'all been begging for. Now, okay, now y'all get that. Now we on Off the Top show on a Tuesday talking about WNBA basketball. You feel what I'm saying?
I would have never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd even be talking about WNBA basketball, bro.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's what y'all invited. Y'all wanted that. So now don't be getting mad about what motherfuckers be saying, because once you open the door, like I say, you never know what's gonna come in. But y'all kept opening the door. Y'all wanted this door open so much. So you got to be able to take the good with the bad. And it's going to be more bad because more bad get clicks. That's what this world is. It's just bunch of bad shit repeating itself every day. Somebody different news saying the bad, terrible shit. That's all it is. And everybody tuned into it. I just seen something that said it was like a 11-year-old just like graduated from college already. That shit wasn't posted on nothing. You feel what I'm saying? But if it was about somebody, 11-year-old shooting a teacher or something like that and killing a teacher, that shit would be everywhere and everybody be talking about it. But
man,
like I said, when you open the door, man, you got to just accept what comes with it. And it's a challenge, but it's what y'all wanted. So here we are, talking shit. So we'll see y'all next week when we talking some more shit. Y'all better be tightened up. I'm about to start checking points too now. You better be scoring. Everybody.
Oh, we on? Yeah, we already on it.
Shout out to the girls, man. Though, shout out to the girls. Y'all keep doing y'all thing. Keep working, man, and shit. Make some memories. Make some things happen. We tuned in.
Absolutely locked in, man. Maybe someday down the line, I wouldn't mind a WNBA team in Milwaukee or a WNBA team in Detroit. Be something pretty cool down the line. You already got the stadium built for it. Why not just have them playing there? You see what the Minnesota Lynx be doing. They're right in their backyard, and they've been winning. They almost won last year. They're 4-0 right now. Like, it's just only going to go ahead and keep people coming to sports events and keep people coming together. So we shall see, but we are definitely locked in with the WNBA. Before we go, though, we have another interesting part of this show that I don't know what this is going to entail, but we're calling it the Lip Tweet. We're going to have to figure out what you mean by that, my good brother. You're going to go ahead and, whatever's on your mind, because you got a lot of things on your mind. You are living probably in year 3000. The reason why I said, because I just me personally,
don't be telling all the good stuff.
And that's about the only thing I'll say from here on out, because we don't want to hear the feds talking. We don't want that. We don't want that bad juju coming on this show. But Lip Tweet.
When I run this segment to you, I was like, because I be tweeting, and it ain't even got to be about sports. I just be tweeting shit, and I was like, this would be a segment where, I guess people that watch the show, they can like point out a tweet, one of my tweets, they be like, oh, I want him to expand on that a little bit more, or what you mean by that, or something like that. So it'll be different people picking out tweets. It can be you, it can be other people at the show, podcast, or it can just be like fans like that just go out a certain tweet and they be like, oh, I want this tweet we want to explain at the show. So it ain't gonna be a tweet that I pick out. It is be a tweet that other people pick out, or somebody else bring out, or you can pick out. Be like, what you mean by that? There'll be something like that, though.
Well, we'll definitely get that in tune, because I'll just go ahead and have it to where, I'll have tweets in mind, and I like that, though. Yeah. Something so random, because we went ahead and talked about 100 men versus one gorilla, and that was actually wild to go ahead and see some of the tweets and things. But now we'll definitely do that. Before we go, though, what are the Steelers doing? They taking Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers? Because they got to figure it out at this point. They got to figure it out.
Man, I think they'd be, if I had to choose between the two of those guys, because neither one of them is going to be long term, I would take Aaron Rodgers. But I don't really know, like I said, I don't really know if Aaron Rodgers really want to play football anymore. Like, because if he wanted to, he would have signed with him by now, right? Like, OTAs and stuff is kind of over, unless he's just going to wait till OTAs is over and then sign, because he didn't want to go to OTAs, I guess. But, so that can be a reason I think he probably wait until after OTAs is over. But if you ask me if I wanted to go into next year with either one of those quarterbacks, I would say Aaron Rodgers. He's still, Aaron Rodgers. He may not be Aaron Rodgers every quarter with every throw, but he is Aaron Rodgers. And maybe he can help get things going in the right direction with that team. Maybe he can help Will Howard become the future quarterback of that organization, or somebody else they draft in the next year or two, or whatever it is. But I'd rather go with Aaron Rodgers, though. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers.
Man, you already know how I feel about that. I had to ask that. But, man, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Obviously, follow everything we got going on here. Off the Top Show, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube channels skyrocketing right now, which is incredible. Numbers are doing what they need to do. Liv, take us out, man.
Drink y'all water, man. Tune in to the rest of these playoffs. Yeah, man. Summer almost here, man. Protect yourselves, man. Enjoy yourselves. Be easy,
Absolutely. Go touch some grass. We'll see y'all. Peace out.
Yeah.